Hi, it's Jess here from nigezza.co.uk. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm bringing you the card I made for the Ink Stamp Share blog hop, which the theme was the new catalogue. So I made this card. I made this card quite a while ago when I first got this lovely stamp set, Field of Flowers. It was I think it was first card I made with it, and so I thought I'm going to make this again. I'm going to change the colours this time though, make it a bit brighter, and I had this bit of terracotta tile cardstock on my desk which had this border cut in it, and I thought, well, let's do that again. Quite liked the look. So this is from the Ornate border dies, and so I've used this die on it. I'm going to change it up and use this one with it. So some lovely borders. I've done some cards that I don't think I've brought you yet using these borders, so that's to come. So I am changing the colours, and I'm going to use Daffodil Delight to make it a really bright summery card, so I've got the Daffodil Delight ruched ribbon, so because I wanted ribbon, it had to sort of be whatever ribbon I had, and I've got some of this carried over, so going to use that, and I'm going to use I thought I'd stick to the brights, so I'm going to use Granny Apple Green, which is a colour I don't use very often, and for the flowers I'm going to use Daffodil Delight, but I'm also going to use Gorgeous Grape and Melon Mambo, so really bright for me, and I'm going to use Pretty Peacock for the dragonflies. I did look at the other, I suppose I could have gone for Bermuda Bay, might have been a nice dragonfly, but I want that one, so that's the one I'm getting. So what I'm gonna do is, so I've got our standard C6 card, which is, so this is extra thick whisper white cut in half, scored in half, and then a white mat, which is my second layer mat, so that's cut 1/4 of an inch shorter, and then my first layer mat is usually an 1/8 of an inch. No, that's a quarter, that's an 1/8. You know, it's all on my blog, because this is why I don't say measurements. Yeah, so this is a 1/4 of an inch shorter, and that's a 1/4 of an inch shorter than that one. That's a 1/4 of an inch shorter of that one, so it's actually 1/2 an inch shorter than that one. Do you know, as soon as I mention numbers, my head goes, ah! So all measurements on my blog, but I've cut this longer because I wasn't sure if I'd cut a bit off with this, so I'm going to cut this down and then trim it. So that's it cut out, and most of the bits came out really well, so I'll just poke some more. There we go, and then I'm going to get my trimmer so that I can cut it. I want it a little bit longer because that's going to sit on there. So actually I want this to be a bit shorter than I normally do it. So I want that on there. So I've got to trim this whisper white down as well. So I'm going to put this where I would normally put the layer. So I've got the bottom of that. Actually I could do it to the end, couldn't I? And then that probably will keep it right. I might try that. So I'm going to put this to the 4 1/8 for me, and I'm going to come back 1/8, a 16th rather. No, that's too long. So we'll go to 4 inches. See what that looks like. So that can still be down 1/8, and that's touching the bottom. So I need to take a bit off this Whisper White. So I'll come down to 3.5. See what that looks like. I think that works nicely. So that is 3.5 wide, and then once this is trimmed off, this is cut at 4. So that's 4, and this is 3.5, and that's what gives us a bit of the border at the bottom, which I think is quite pretty. And I might do this on other cards because I like that look. So I'm going to write that down before I forget. So I've written those down so that I'll remember. So now let's get this stamping done. So when I did this original one, I elongated the grass a bit to make it a bit taller, but now I've made this smaller. I don't want to do that because I won't have much room at the top there, so I'm just going to stamp it as is. So I'm going to bring a bit of scrap in because I will go off it. So Granny Apple Green, it's not quite long enough to go all the way across your cardstock, so it will have a bit of a join. So don't know why I inked it all up because I only need a bit of it. So I'm going slightly off at the bottom just so that it's in the right place, so I don't have any white gap at the bottom. And then we need the flowers, so I'm just checking that I might actually end up not doing the ribbon, so it'll be completely different. So I don't know why I got the always. So I am colouring the flowers so that we can have different colours. So that's the Melon Mambo. Gorgeous grape. And then the Daffodil Delight. Give it a huff. And then there we go. So now I can see which colours have had which. The yellow's sort of lost in the grass there. But I think that's okay. So There we go, and one more. Don't need them all, but I'll colour them all in because I don't know when it will end. So quite liking this brightness. Very unlike me to go so bright. There we go. So that's our colours done, and then I'm going to stamp me always. Just love this, love the font on it. So take that messy bit away. I can see what I'm doing. Always. And I'm going to do this one thinking of you. I'm going to bring it down a bit so I can see where it's going. There we go. And then I want a few dragonflies. So I'm using Pretty Peacock for that. I'll have some dragonflies flying around. So I want one going off there. One going off there, and I'll have one up there, and go back in. I can see where I didn't. Yep, and I'm gonna try and be clever up there. Yep, that's super. And then to give it a little bit of something, I decided to add pearl. There's my pearls. So I'm going to colour 3 of these. I'll just leave them to dry whilst I see what this looks like. So there we have the finished card. The video cut out abruptly, and I hadn't realised that it hadn't recorded me sort of sticking that down and putting the pearls on that I coloured. So I did think it missed the hole at the end off and I would have to like make it again. But I think that you know how to glue things on. So there is the new version and there's the original version I did. So very similar, just different borders at the bottom cut out, and ribbon and no ribbon. But I think they're both nice. I like that bright colour. I'm turning into somebody who likes bright colours, which is not what I expected. So all the details will be over on my blog, nigezza.co.uk. Something will flash up there, and they are linked down below, and I will link to the original blog hop as well, so you can go and see what everybody else made. So beautiful set. I do love it, love it, love it, and I have been playing with it a lot, and I do love the punch that goes with it as well. So you could do this one and just add the flowers on top without stamping them, which would be a great alternative as well. Okay, bye for now. See you again soon.